On November 16, 2022, the Toronto Blue Jays traded star outfielder Teoscar Hernández for a high-leverage reliever in Erik Swanson and prospect Adam Macko. Now, it wasn't the biggest shock in the world to see Teo moved. After all, he was on an expiring contract, and the team desperately needed to shake up their right-hand dominant lineup. A problem we saw firsthand when Luis Castillo was able to cruise through in Game 1 of the wildcard series last October. There's no doubt that losing Teoscar hurt. His career numbers with the Jays were extremely respectable and continued to get better, with his 2020 to 2022 stats being up there with the best right fielders in baseball at the time. So was it the right decision for the Jays to move on from Teo, and were the pieces brought in to replace him enough to bring this team deep into the postseason? For starters, let's take a deep dive into the main piece the Jays got in return, that being Erik Swanson. Prior to joining the Jays this year, Swanson took part in 4 seasons with the Mariners, posting a mediocre overall stat line. But 2022 was his major breakout year. He posted an incredible ERA at 1.68 in 53 2/3 innings. It was a little strange, trading a star offensive outfielder for a relief pitcher, but my guess is the Jays did not like the asking price for the top relievers on the market, especially after Edwin Diaz dramatically drove up the prices. So the Jays elected to add their bullpen via trade, plus it saved a lot of money to add for other parts of the team, but we'll get to that later in the video. Some more reasons to love Swanson is the fact that he still has 4 years of control left before he's a free agent, and he was a baseball savant stud last year, posting the high 90th percentiles for every stat you want to be in, meaning he's a great bump for the Jays bullpen that was very middle of the pack in terms of reliever ERA in 2022. But the Teoscar Hernández trade goes way past what the naked eye sees, because if you take a deeper dive, you can uncover that the whole Jays offseason plan came from this one move. By trading Teo away, the team opened up $14 million in cap space. That is a huge amount, especially because it was known that the Jays did not have a lot of money to spend and there was a need for another quality starting pitcher. With the $14 million saved, the Jays went on to find their replacement in longtime division rival Kevin Kiermaier for $9 million, with the other $5 million being used to help sign 2-time World Series champion Brandon Belt. Let's quickly go over Belt because I want the focus to be primarily around Teo's immediate replacement. During his 12-year career with the Giants, he managed to win 2 World Series titles, made an All-Star appearance in 2016, and was the unofficial captain of the team. He also managed to produce an over 800 career OPS and was one of the best batters in baseball during the 2020 and 2021 seasons. But it was a problem for him to stay healthy during that time and again in 2022. But with his incredible resume and leadership, the Jays took him on a 1-year deal, and even though his tenure hasn't started off particularly great, by the end of the season, he should be a legitimate middle-of-the-lineup hitter with tremendous upside from the left side of the batter's box, and a much better replacement to Vlad than Cavan Biggio. Now let's talk about Kiermaier, aka Teoscar Hernández's replacement. Kiermaier made his bread and butter with the Rays from his elite defensive skills. In fact, during his 10 seasons with them, he was the best defensive outfielder in baseball, posting crazy highlight reel catches, took home 3 Gold Gloves and a Platinum Glove, to put his total D-WAR at an outrageous 17.7 with 3.1 D-WAR per 162 games. He was the best defender on the market this past offseason, and for only $9 million, it was a steal of a pickup. When comparing Kiermaier and Teoscar's defensive numbers, Kiermaier blows Teo out of the water, producing 4.1 D-WAR per 162 games better than Teoscar. 4.1 is an incomprehensible figure. It's miles ahead of Teoscar and one of the most significant changes the Jays front office could have possibly done this offseason. In O-WAR terms, that's like comparing Bo Bichette's 2022 O-WAR of 5.4 to 2022 Lourdes Gurriel Jr.'s O-WAR of 1.8. Anyone with the right mind can see that Bo had a much more impactful 2022 campaign, having 3.6 O-WAR over Lourdes. Moving on, a fun fact about Kiermaier is his WAR figure. Did you know that per baseballreference.com, he holds a career 5.6 WAR per 162? That's a much higher figure than Teo's and even surpasses Vlad and Bo by a considerable amount. But anyways, getting back to the defensive topic, another key statistic to look at is his outs above average, which takes the distance, the opportunity time, and the direction the player must go to put a percentage for the catch probability. For example, if the player has a chance at a ball with a 75% catch probability, then if he makes it, he gets plus 0.25, and if he misses, he gets negative 0.75. Now let's compare the two, and again, Kiermaier is miles ahead of Teo. In fact, 24 outs above average better per 162 games. That's an insane amount. You watching most likely already knew that Teo was a poor defender, but I don't think you guys could have pictured it being this below average. So it's pretty safe to say while D-War isn't as glamorous or as sought after as O-War, it doesn't make it any less important. Kiermaier brings a significant boost in this area, and the Jays will undoubtedly perform better than their 2022 defense, where they accumulated -2 outs above average and ranked 18th in the MLB. Now let's move on to the offensive stats. For their career, Teo is 100 points better with his OPS of 816, and far better in practically every other stat. Teo is an impact middle-of-the-lineup bat, and Kiermaier projects to be the primary number 9 hitter for the Jays, so it's very safe to say that it's a major downgrade offensively. But what makes this trade-off so interesting is Kiermaier's lefty bat and his explosive speed that ranks in the 92nd percentile on Baseball Savant. To start off this season, Kiermaier made it his 2023 goal to lead all ninth batters in hits, and he's gotten off to a great start with 9 hits in his first 7 games. If he can continue to do anything close to this production, then he'll be flipping the lineup over to Springer, Bo, and Vlad to bat with at least one man on regularly. Also, coupled with his elite speed, it's realistic he could have 15 plus stolen bags, or score from first on a double, something our 1 through 3 is especially good at. When you look through the 1 through 9 of the Jays over the years, it's a lot more complete than previous years. I mean seriously, when was the last time we had 3 left-handed bats in the starting lineup? You'd have to go back years to find that. So while Teo is gone and his 30 home runs and 90 plus RBIs will surely be missed, it just seems like Kiermaier is the better fit in this situation. The major defensive upgrade is a big part in this, but the offense also gets a lot more diverse. And as we have talked about earlier in the video, trading Teo allowed the club to gain a high leverage reliever, a decent pitching prospect, sign Kevin Kiermaier for $5 million less than what Teo would have cost, and use that extra $5 million to get another impact left-handed bat. Trust me when I say this, I was devastated when I heard the news of Teo. I still have his Mr. Seeds Players Weekend jersey, and he was a joy to watch the past few years. But the move opened up a lot of doors for the Jays front office, and they were able to fix a lot of holes this offseason while spending barely any money. If you ask me, this offseason couldn't have gone much better. Now it's just time for the team to put it all together. But that's always the age-old question. Tell me what you guys think of this trade-off by the Jays, because I know a lot of people have mixed opinions about it. I hope you guys enjoy this analysis, and if you're anything like me and love the Blue Jays, then make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we are so close. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.